What's good, guys? So I want to quickly start by saying that if you want to get this exact sample or all the other ones I've made this year, including phrases, textures, accents, just click the link below. You'll get full access to all of them. Anyway, let's just see how the sample goes, and yeah, let's get to it. A recent pack I just got from Mafio. So I'm gonna go to one of my classic presets that I like to use in Diva. It's from the Ingo Widener bank, the Jupiter Synth Brass 4, and I'm just gonna make some adjustments here. I messed up that last one. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna have to change chords. Okay, what I'm gonna do is have two versions. So I kind of like just want the top line with this setting. And then I'm gonna print one more out with only the chords and no top line. So get rid of these. Let's go up. Ooh, oh, that is catchy. I like that. Wow. Is this the one? Should I change this note? Ooh, that is nice. I'm telling you, you just take the time. I mean, you won't know because I've chopped this up, but I've just spent probably a good 20 minutes just working out these chords and the top line and everything. I haven't used Analog Lab for a bass in a while, and I know there's definitely some good synth basses here, so... I like that last little bit. What does this sound like? I think as a synth, the main chords are so wide that it makes sense to have the width quite narrow and mono sounding on this little texture, so... So it's kind of tough because when you have a sound like this synth that's so full, it's kind of hard to fit a lot of extra layers because that whole frequency range is already just taken up. So it's hard to find things that will actually fit. And sometimes that just means that honestly, you just leave the main sound, because the idea is that there's also going to be someone who puts drums on this. There's also going to be an artist. So that might be it for that section. So I think we'll go on to the next one. What I'll do is actually copy and paste these chords and put them onto a different instrument. So I'll maybe go into Scorch, see if we can find some keys or something, some kind of pad. Otherwise I'll try something else. And then also in this section, I'll have that top line playing. So see if we can find something that complements what goes on here. a bad sound. It's a lot. It's really just in my... Okay, I'm just going to keep that there for a sec, see if I can try a different sound. So I'm going to bounce this high kind of key texture and see if I can do something with it. And maybe if I reverse it in quarters. I think that sounds nice, yeah. And just get the fades in. Again, always if you're using audio clips, add the fades because you don't want any of those clicks. Some chorus on this bass, which is nice. There's something, it's just, it doesn't suit the top line. I love the top line itself, this. And even though I added the cymatics to try like dampen it a bit, it's still a very kind of bright and sharp sound, and I just don't think it suits the kind of dusky sounding keys. Yeah, so I think this might need to be something different. I could start with no halftime. Yeah. You know what? I think it's this that needs to change. Okay, so you can see I just tried chopping it, but because of the halftime, it's not really registering that. So I'm just going to bounce out one more time. Top line, halftime. Add some delay so it's not so awkward. Yeah, I like this a lot more. Some compression. Beef it up a bit, some chorus, some saturation on this bass. Yeah, I like that. Woo! That is nice. It's so just dreamy and just feels good. I'm gonna try and scan for those like muddy frequencies that I don't want and just duck them. See, now in a section like this, I can definitely find little spots for some cool little textures and phrases, and I think once I've added those, just the ear candy, this is probably a finished sample, so we're almost there, we're almost there. Yeah, let's definitely... So it's from Mafio's kit. I'm going to see if I can get some perk textures going on under here. I really should have made this a patch already. I keep saying this, but halftime, some DH flanger, and let's see. maybe some vocals.
Thinking about the sweetest. So what was I thinking? Thinking about the sweetest.
Some more altar boy, mess with the formant. So yeah, as you heard there, if you haven't gotten this, this is a great plugin, or anything that you can use to pitch the formant. It just means it'll make it sound like it's lower or higher depending on what you choose, but it's still going to be within the same pitch. And especially for vocals, it just sounds really cool. I'm sure you've heard these kind of vocals, especially in like R&B type things. It's like background vocals. Okay, so my camera just died, but I got this sounding so sick. And don't worry, I'm going to quickly show you just what I did and added, and then I'm going to play you the final sample. It turned out so good. So I think in the previous clip, you just heard me working on the vocal, and I just continued chopping it until it sounded like this. So in context. Oh, I love it. Love it. And then goes into the next section. And I just added some textures. And what I did was originally added this, which I'm going to take off all these plugins so you can hear what it sounded like. And this is from Phantom 808's Cremona kit, which I have been using a lot recently. And it sounded like this when I time stretched it. So what I did was I reversed it and then added the compression. I sound shifted it so it matched. Added halftime, RC20, and with RC20 I made it really mono sounding and narrow and try to cut out a lot of the highs. I used Portal, which was just a fourth shape pan, which just gives it that like quarter note chop, and then added some EQ, just cutting around 250 on the lows and then to 3K on the highs. So it was really quite mid focused, and then kind of just ducking and boosting where I liked on the multi-band compressor, and it sounds like this. In context. Sounds like some old like Drake kind of thing. And then yeah, there's this guitar texture which I didn't do too much other than like I pitched it up basically a full octave, added some EQ, cutting out a lot of the highs, a lot of the lows, and just some delay, and just EQing even more, so it sounded like this. And then what I did was took the delayed part of this, so the tail that would be like here, and I bounced that out into this, which all I did is just add even more delay to. Especially like the kind of call and response here. Just a cool little percussive like ear candy. And on this bus, which both of these textures have, I just have some saturation and basically putting on a distortion preset, which is from this amp. I use this one a lot. And then lastly, just the intro, I took the vocals, but I had a slightly different chop, and all I did was just open up some more of the high end. So because the synth is like so full at the beginning, I still wanted the vocal to kind of cut through, which also meant I increased the compression on this R Vox, so it sounds like this. Yeah, I'm just super happy with how this one turned out. It's so melodic and just like triumphant feeling, and I love making samples like this. And it's been good practice for me just focusing on having a prominent melody, because one thing I need to be reminded of is that even though there's free reign when it comes to sample making, you can do whatever you want, it's really beneficial to have a catchy hook or a catchy melody. And even if it's just the chord progression itself, which I think for the most part it is in this, I think it's just something that really sticks with you and it really stands out. I'm gonna play the full thing for you now, and if you want this exact sample as well as all the other ones I made this month and the month previous and onwards, as well with phrases, textures, accents, everything, they're all going up on my Patreon. So click the link below and you'll get full access to it. You can use them in your own production, your beats, your samples. And yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.